We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. I'm Steve and Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, and this is the Land Academy Show.
This is episode number 2187. Today, Jill and I are talking about why most people price their land offers wrong.
I have some ideas.
It's not a technical thing. It's a belief.
Oh, that's true.
People believe, here's a spoiler alert, that the higher the price that you offer, the more deals that you're going to do.
Well, yeah, and there's a number then it doesn't make sense to, I'm going to send out an offer to everybody in this area for $1 million. Dumb. Definitely don't want to do stuff like that. But people will probably think that I'll get everybody to call me back, and then I'll negotiate them down. What a waste of time.
It's a natural human response to think that price really, really matters in a mailer, and the fact is it doesn't. And I'll give you all the scenarios here in just a couple of minutes.
You know, before we started the show, I almost blurted out, but you hit the start button, that I would like a Bloody Mary.
We can do it tomorrow.
Well, we can do it in a minute, like when we're done with this. What do you mean tomorrow? Oh,
You know what, Jill? I would love to have a Bloody Mary with you.
I know. Maybe by the time we record tomorrow, we'll have them in our hands. Anyway, I just thought that was funny because I almost said that when you hit rolling. I'm like, uh-oh, stop. I was going to... Anyway, Jack is very sweet. He does make me nice drinks, and I appreciate that.
You're a lot of fun, love.
Thanks.
Each day on the show, we answer a question from our Land Academy member Discord forum, take a deep dive into land-related topics by popular request.
Okay, so Tara wrote, I'm putting this in the newbie section because we're preparing our first mobile mailer. I've had some success with mobiles in the past, and I want to put more focus on them. But I'm a bit perplexed with pricing because mobile homes vary wildly as compared to other forms of real estate. Does anyone ever send neutral letters and then, this is a good time I can't. Has anyone ever sent neutral letters and then negotiate a price based on the individual mobile? I've never sent neutral letters, but I'm wondering if it's a viable option in this circumstance.
No one I know is more qualified to answer this question than Jill. No one I know on the planet. I've been in this business for 35 years. I can't wait to hear what you say.
Zane and Tara, I know who you are, and I know you will get this. Do you really want every single person that you send an offer to, well, it's actually not even really an offer, that you send a letter to with no dollar amount, to call you and name their price? I don't want that. And I know people, well, we've tested it. We've tested everything that you can possibly imagine. And then more currently, I hear from a lot of people that did that way and then came over to our way and said, oh, that was a disaster. Because that's the bottom line. You need to warm them up. You want to warm up and hit the right people to kind of where you're coming from with a dollar that makes sense. That's the whole point. Because if you don't, that's what's going to happen. They're going to go ka-ching. This is it, baby. I know you think it's worth $300,000, but this person didn't. They want our mobile so bad. And remember, you know how to personalize them, right? So they don't know if you sent out 5 letters or 5,000. They probably think you sent out 5, to their little street. Like, oh, I'm going to be the first to call. They want to live on our street. Maybe it's so-and-so's kid. Who knows? You know what? We're going to cash out I think we're going to $450. I'm fingers crossed, that's what's just going to happen.
So, a couple of days ago, we talked about that Mrs. Jones and having a cup of coffee and opening her mail. And she one of the things she opens is your letter. And the letter says, hey, Mrs. Jones, I'd like to buy a property for $13,000 and change in Mojave County, Arizona, or wherever. So that the feeling that she has when she reads that sentence, the one that you want her to have, or the one that you want some percentage of the people who are opening your mail to have, is this. Oh my gosh, this is good timing. Mm-hmm. We were just talking about 3 days ago. My husband and I were just talking about selling a piece of land because we just got the tax bill and we've been paying the taxes on this thing, and then and on and on and on. This is a good idea. I think I might want to sell this property.
And you planted that number in their head.
When you send a neutral mailer that says, hey, I'm that property that you guys have up there in Mojave County, I'd like to really talk to you about selling it. Mrs. Jones is not going to call you. Who's going to call you is Mr. Smith. And Mr. Smith says something like this right over across the coffee table to his wife. Baby, our ship just came in. That property that we bought for $5,000 in 1958, we're going to get $82,000 for that. Isn't $82,000 the what's left on our mortgage?
Or they automatically go, they think of a number. And usually they think of a number that they heard of someone sold their ag property for, like someone's going to get that. That's the problem. You warm them up. You plant the seed of who you are and what you want to do versus letting their minds run wild.
Mrs. Jones.
Anybody says, I want to buy your house, call me. I'd be like, oh, ka-ching.
Yeah.
The ship has come in. This is it. This is our time. Pack up, baby.
But if you get a letter, same person, Jill gets a letter that says, I want to buy your house for $82,000, you kind of chuckle and throw it away. You are forcing the person with a neutral letter to think about price.
Yeah.
Mrs. Jones is not thinking about price. She says, oh, I just want to sell this. Are you kidding? We can get rid of this thing really quickly. She knows it's worth more. Or maybe she doesn't. She doesn't care. You're addressing something else. The neutral letter attracts a different person, and immediately they want to see what the price is. So they call you, and it's a useless phone call.
Yeah.
And we've done it both ways. I've done this all different. I've sent out. Made all the mistakes for 35 years. Yeah. Neutral letters. You waste a ton of time and energy on the phone to maybe do a deal, but probably not.
Yeah, you are having to. You know what the thing is, Tara. I know you, right? And I know you know how much fun it is to take money away versus adding money. All you're going to have is 3,000 phone calls of people where you're going to talk them down, and that's not fun.
Yeah.
You're and for those reasons, I'm out.
You're not. We can do that. This taps right into the topic.
Yeah.
Why most people price their land offers wrong. But let's finish this topic. Price. Well, people don't sell their property to you where price is their most important. When people are serious about, you know a lot more about what most people's property is worth than they do. Well, so they'll throw numbers out that they have no idea what they're for.
I hear you, and I think it's two parts, Stephen, Jack, which are part A is there's a little bit more of call to action, I want to say, and a feeling when there's a dollar amount on the page. That's not $1, not $500, not $1,000, not a made up number. That's my thing. That really, someone put some time into this to give me this number. That's a big deal versus a generic, I want to buy your house kind of thing. So that's what I agree with. And then Jack's part is, if they really need the dough, now they're calling out. Now they're going to call you. And then it's not so much about the number. But I still have to go on record for me personally. We don't have to agree on this, by the way. For me personally, I needed warmed up. My job is answering the phone and getting a deal to happen where there wasn't one. And if they're warmed up with a number, it makes my life so much easier. Someone with a neutral letter is a pain in the ass. It's very hard, and I don't even like those calls. It's really hard to get deals done.
One of the great things about doing a mailer is that it takes, once you get used to it and know how to do it, it takes a few hours to get an entire mailer done. I'm not the gauge, but I can get a 10,000 unit mailer done in the mail if offers to owners is compliant that day or they're not too busy, the same day. So, and then it goes out. I wait 2 weeks. Another week goes by. The entire 3 weeks, I have leveraged that half a day's work on my part and 4 or 5 people. And Jill's doing 4 or 5 deals. That's an amazing scale, a time leverage and a financial leverage, which we'll talk about here. I'll talk about it really tomorrow. The cost of sending a mailer. It's just so when you send a neutral letter out, you're doing away with that. Now you're blowing. You're gonna be on the phone for 2 weeks straight listening to people talk about, instead of the real 6 people that really leverage, that the people that want to sell their property truly. The mailer worked. You leveraged it correctly.
Are we going to do the topic?
Yeah, so the topic is, why do people price their land offers wrong? They do that.
Well, that's one of them. Neutral's wrong.
Right.
We covered that in great detail.
The whole point to a mailer is to send out a bunch of offers, thousands, maybe tens of thousands in our case, and have the 6 or 10 or 20 people that are really interested in selling their property contact Jill, whether they mail the thing back, whether they call her and want a slight price adjustment or whatever. However they contact us back. They're doing that. When they do that, they're having a life event 99% of the time. Not even 9 times out of 10. 99% of the time, it's a life event. And so if you offered $20,000, $50,000, $70,000 on a $100,000 piece of property, they don't care. The $20,000 is fine. Mm-hmm. And if it was $40,000, the real reason people do this incorrectly is they believe, and I think this is a human thing. There's nothing wrong with you. I was like this in the beginning too. I'm going to offer more money because I want to do more deals, and I've accepted the smaller profit margin. Please stop thinking that way entirely and completely. Offer 20%. Start at 20%, and when you go through our program, I talk all about at the end of a mailer, testing for reason. Please go through that. But your offers should be 20% or less, and you should send out as many as you possibly can, so that when they do call back, you're getting a deal that's 80% off of retail,
Or more.
or more.
That's the whole point. Yeah, I love that. Someone was asking me about this climate that we're in right now, and the whole thing is, it's not flying off the shelves, right? Like it was. You've got to be, you got to have great property at a great price, and the flip side is too. That means there's so much that opportunity to pick up great properties at great, amazing prices. I had a group call yesterday. And I said, look, these are the times that we all look at each other. I'm going to say fast forward 1 year or even 2 years from now. We're all going to be saying, man, I wish I had 10 more of those.
Yep. Boy, you're right. Or 100 more.
Uh-huh. Boy, I wish I would have just scooped them up. Because when things aren't moving, as quickly, that's ding, ding, time to just buy everything you can at your prices.
There's properties on the MLS that I have saved that are under contract, and some of them are sold, that I wish I would have bought. This is on the MLS, which we never buy property in the MLS ever. There's one very specific piece of dirt I regret just not buying, and it's gone. It was way undervalued. Somebody just wanted to dump it.
That's it.
Join us tomorrow where Jill and I discuss the real cost of sending a land offer campaign mailer. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
We are Jack and Jill.
Information
And inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.